Most CEOs think they haven't adopted AI yet and are just slowly investigating what is right for their businesses. The reality is your sales team probably already has. And if you don't have a policy around it, you may already be exposing company data without realizing it. Now, before you panic, this isn't really a technology problem. It's a leadership problem. One of the biggest misconceptions I see right now is that business owners think AI adoption is something they're going to decide on 6 months from now or a year from now. But when I walk into organizations, what I often find is that AI is already there. The problem is that in many organizations, nobody has stopped to ask a very simple question. How do we want our team using these tools? A while ago, I started working with a company that was dealing with exactly this situation. Leadership didn't think AI was a major part of the business, but when we started talking with the sales team, we discovered people were already using multiple AI tools every day. One salesperson was using AI to draft emails. Another was using it to prepare for discovery calls. Someone else was using it to brainstorm responses to objections. Everybody was doing something different, and everybody was getting different answers. At first, that might not sound like a huge problem, but when we started digging deeper, we realized there were some important questions nobody answered. What information are people entering into these tools? Is customer information going in? Pricing information? Internal strategy discussions? Proprietary processes? And if it is, where does that information actually end up? Is it being stored? Is it being used to train future models? Could competitors potentially gain access to information you never intended to share? The truth is, most companies don't know. Not because they're doing anything wrong, but because nobody's established a policy around how AI should be used inside the organization. To be clear, I am not against AI. In fact, I think every sales organization should be exploring how to use these tools. The problem isn't AI. The problem is using AI without clear expectations around what information can be shared, what tools can be used, and how those tools fit into your sales process. But here's what surprised me. The data risk wasn't the only risk. The bigger issue was consistency. Every salesperson was receiving different advice from different AI tools, which meant the company no longer had one sales process. It had 10. And once that starts happening, coaching becomes harder. Accountability becomes harder. Forecasting becomes harder. Leadership loses visibility, and over time, your sales organization starts drifting in different directions. By the way, this is becoming one of the most common conversations I'm having with leadership teams right now. Not whether AI should be used. That decision has already been made in most organizations. The real question is how to use it without creating risk and inconsistency. If this is something you're starting to think about in your own organization, there's a link in the description where you can book a conversation with me. I'd be happy to run you through our AI audit process building system. The solution wasn't banning AI. The solution was creating clear expectations around how it should be used. For example, what information could be entered, what information couldn't, which tools were approved, which tools weren't, and how AI should support the sales process. In this particular case, we even developed a customized AI sales playbook that aligned with the company's existing sales process. Instead of every salesperson getting different advice from different tools, they had a consistent framework that reinforced how the organization wanted to sell. And something interesting happened. The conversations became more consistent, managers had better visibility, salespeople had more confidence. New team members ramped up faster, and AI became a tool that supported the sales process instead of pulling it apart. I think that's where a lot of businesses are getting this wrong. They're focused on the technology. But before you worry about any of that, you need to answer a much simpler question. How do you want your sales team to use AI? Because if leadership doesn't answer that question, every salesperson will answer it differently. The companies that get the most value from AI won't be the ones using the most tools. They'll be the ones that create the most clarity around how those tools are used. Technology can help your team move faster, but leadership is what makes sure everyone is moving in the same direction. If you're not sure how AI is being used inside your sales organization today, let's have a conversation. because chances are your team already has adopted AI. The question is whether your organization has established the policies, expectations, and processes needed to make sure it's being used effectively. And if you're wondering who should actually own sales process, coaching, accountability, and the systems that support your sales team, check out this video on how a fractional VP of sales can deliver full-time results without the full-time cost.